and hopefully this works. So we're going to do a little PowerPoint. So if you can see, that's better. I was just looking at my arms in the video and I'm like, geez, I'm getting ripped. This 80-day thing straightening these guns nice. I like have been so focused on like my legs and my butt that I didn't even notice my arms. Anyway, hi Ellie. So we're gonna do a screenshot and we're gonna go through just this last material bits that we wanted to go through. And then I did want to go over any questions or things that you guys are still a little unsure of moving from here on out. And I did want to take 2 seconds to just shout Heather out because she was at zeros on the board and our goal was to have no zeros on the board, and she was determined not to have a zero on the board, and so she got out there and made that not happen for her. So she's got some numbers up this week, and that's very exciting and worthy of a shout out. So amazing job, girl. We're very excited for you. So let's go ahead and just get right into this. So I decided to switch up the format just a little bit, and I probably will from here on out in the group. I think it's a little bit better to have a weekly goal that we work on sort of individually and as a group, and then just kind of go over all the information at once. I know it's a little overwhelming, but this week is really about connecting all of the dots and really putting everything together that we've already talked about, because I think sometimes like things get so scattered that we're like, how does that affect this, and why is that important, and how can I focus on everything that I need to focus on at one time and make this work, right? So I wanted to kind of bring that together and just sort of bring us back to earth and remind you what we're here to do. So next week, as you kind of embark out on your own for a month, I know it sounds so scary. It like scares me. It's like, oh, I'm sending my kids out into the world. I don't know. I want you to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. And there's a reason why you go through this, quick training and then you sort of are like thrown into the pool sort of to wade for yourself. The reason is because if you don't become self-sufficient and you don't learn how to self-motivate, you're never going to get anywhere. Like it's just like with your fitness journey, you have to be able to take the plan and trust the process and put it to work, right? Nobody comes and does your workout for you. Nobody comes and puts food in your mouth. You do all of that stuff. It's the same thing with your business. And just like with your physical transformation, when you look at those before and after photos, you get to claim that victory. And it's the same thing with your business. You get to claim that victory. You get to claim all of those things that you had to become and all of those things that you had to overcome and all of those things that you had to do, whether you wanted to or not, to make it work and to really have significant impact and help people. And you did that, and you get to claim that. And part of that process is really standing on your own 2 feet and saying, this is what I want, this is what I'm going to do, and making that statement. So when we head into March, as you guys kind of work in one tribe, and your little OTLs keep an eye on you and see sort of where you're going and what you're doing, it's important for you to say, this is the statement that I'm going to make. And your March is going to be your statement. Okay, as a new coach, whether that's one Success Club point, whether that's helping one person, whether that's a transformation photo or helping someone lose 5 pounds, whatever that is to you, that's what I want your victory lap to be at the end of March. So we're going to set some goals tonight. We're going to get you on the right track. We're going to set your game plan forward so that moving from this point on, you know where you're going. Okay, so we're just going to kind of go through this a little bit. Oh, that like kind of just skipped right over there. So right now, this is something that I've been thinking about a lot, because we talk about sharing our story all the time. Did you guys know that your story is already being written? It's already being written as you're sitting here. So when you think about yourself, in the future as a coach, writing your story, and I know a lot of coaches like visualize themselves up on stage at Summit and like speaking in front of all these coaches. Like, what is that story you're going to tell? Is it going to be reminiscing these times where you first started in this training group and when you felt a certain way and you looked a certain way and you didn't think that you had the things that you needed to be successful. These are those stories that are being written right now. So how is this chapter going to go? This is something that I just wanted to throw out there because it's so easy to miss the story being built and the storyline as you're going. And that's really the story that we should be telling on social media. What's happening right now, today in your life? What are you doing to propel yourself forward toward that bigger goal and where you want to be, right? That's the story that you want to really capture and help people embrace, because you're the hero of that story and people want to see what's going to happen to you and what you're going to do and what you're going to accomplish and what's going to happen when, you know, somebody comes after you. Are you going to put on your cape and fly away, or are you going to put on your cape and like demolish the obstacle? Those are the kinds of things that I want you thinking about when you are telling your story, because that is what it feels like when you're making change and when you're making progress and when you're writing that story and recognizing it as you go. I wanted to bring this up because I think this is so important too. I think when you are a coach, it's really easy to look at, you know, your leaders and your mentors and all the top coaches and corporate and the National Wake Up Call and all of these things and all of these people's stories and all of the amazing things that they've accomplished. But I want you guys to know that it's the little victories along the way that really coaching brings to your life, and that's so impactful. It's being able to go on date nights. It's being able to pay for your groceries. It's being able to get a babysitter sometimes, right? Just because you can go to brunch with your girlfriends or go, you know, golf for an hour on lunch. It's more having the ability to create more experiences for you and your kids and your spouse, your friends, your family, right? It's vacations, it's weekend getaways. It's one of the big ones for me was being able to hire a cleaning lady who comes once every 2 weeks and she deep cleans my whole house. She scrubs all the floors and does all the windows and all the crap that nobody ever wants to do. And that to me is like, hallelujah, like that one thing alone. Now, if I could just order a chef, my life would be complete. But it's these little tiny things that are happening along the way that so often we take advantage of. Like if you earn $50 from coaching this week and you get to have a little more spontaneity with your date night, or you get to pay for your kids' school pictures. One of the things I thought about a lot when I was growing up, my best friend's mom never bought her school pictures, ever. They were always on like the school assistance food program. So she got to go through the special line and get like the welfare lunch and all this stuff. And it was always this thing. And that always bothered me that she never got her school pictures from elementary all the way through high school because her parents couldn't afford it. That was just one of the small luxuries that I was able to have growing up that I didn't even realize was a luxury until I realized my girlfriend never had those. So she has no pictures of her whole school experience. And it's little things like that that coaching can be able to really contribute to and add to your life. So it's not always this big, I paid off 6 figures of debt, I retired my husband kind of thing. Like sometimes it's just, I used my debit card at Target today and it didn't decline. Hallelujah. You know what I mean? Like I've been there. I know what that feels like. So I want you guys to just realize that as you go, the power you have to create more for your life and for other people. It's these things that make a difference. It's these things that create quality in your everyday life that aren't these big, drastic things. They're just these little things that make your life a lot easier and a lot more pleasant and a lot more fun. And that's what Beachbody really should be. I want you guys, as we go through this little slide, to not forget that this is your time. Okay, we talk about helping your customers and how you're going to help your coaches and where you're going to help them accomplish things and where you're going to help them go. But that's what we're doing for you right now. We're trying to get you on this path and on this course and moving forward and achieving these goals and really doing it first. So don't forget that this is your time to do it, and it's okay to be selfish about that. Okay, you need other people in order for you to do that. And that's the beautiful thing about our business. Whether you're working on yourself or you're working for others, there's going to be a constant ebb and flow of both of those things. And either way, it's beautiful because you need people for both. Okay. And I know that sometimes that's kind of a hairy spot. I just wanted to pull up the chat because I can see people chatting on it and I didn't want to miss a question. Jess said, I want to post about these little things more. I hesitate because I worry about posting a disclaimer every time I post about income. You know what? I think that if it's something small and just the way that you word it, it shouldn't really matter. To me, the income disclaimer doesn't bother me at all. Like, I would put it on every single one of my posts if I had to, but some people put it in the comment below, whatever it is. But these little things I think are important because those are the things that people really relate to. Like, they don't relate to paying off 6 figures of debt. They want to, but that has no, it sounds weird to me, and I did it. You know what I mean? Like, I can't even kind of wrap my brain around it. But being able to just say, I made $50 in my coaching business this week, and I'm going to get a massage, right? Or something like that. This is my play money, this stuff. It's important to share those kinds of things because they are victories in your life, and it's part of your story. And that's what I think most people wish that they could create for their life, is just those little luxuries that just make your life easier, and funner, and that you can add to your life without having it be like Mount Everest. Do you know what I'm saying? So even if you put the disclaimer on every single post, I don't think it would be annoying. Most people don't even pay attention to that. So here we go. I wanted to just kind of put this little slide together because I think it's important to sort of see the progression of our business from kind of a different perspective. So right now, I feel like when you're brand new, some of you aren't brand new, but sometimes it's really easy to feel like you're kind of a small part of this, right? And your why, and why you're doing all of this is a lot bigger than you are right now, right? This new opportunity that you have in front of you is like the biggest thing in your life right now. I know it doesn't feel like that, but it's true. You have so much opportunity for this huge amount of personal growth on top of new income, right? That all lead to your dream, which seems also really small, right? But as you kind of go through this process, you become bigger and bigger and bigger, and your dream gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and these bubbles start to grow and they start to become real, and you start to see sort of how this all connects, right? It starts with you. It starts with why you're here. It starts with really embracing every aspect of this opportunity and making a point to have personal growth, so that you can create that new income in the first place and achieve your dreams, right? We're trying to create momentum and flow, not only in your business, but in your life. And having a purpose for each person that you coach, and having a person for each of these areas, right? What's the purpose for you? What's the purpose behind your why? What's your purpose behind your business? Why do you want to have personal growth? Why do you want to have new income? Why is this your dream? Right? Really understanding those things on a basic level. It doesn't even have to be that deep or that grand. It just has to be what it is. So own what it is, big or small, grand or minute, right? It doesn't matter as long as you know what it is. I wanted to go over a little bit of a plan of attack because I think a lot of coaches kind of get caught up too in the nitty-gritties of reaching rank and reaching Success Club and inviting and doing all of these things. But I just wanted to give you a good flow of how everything is connected, and if you can keep this broader perspective when you're right in the thick of trying to achieve the little benchmarks and milestones like rank and Success Club to achieve that bigger dream, it's going to help you stay focused and stay grounded and remember why you're here. Okay. So I just wanted to remind you really quickly and try and help you guys memorize this part of what we do, because the coach flow doesn't change. And the more you can get connected to this flow chart and the more you can follow this process, the more successful you will be. I promise. If you can try and network, connect with people, invite them, create this structure, accountability, and support, and get them results, and repeat that process over and over and over again to the point of monotony, I promise you guys, you will create a pipeline. And the pipeline is where you become successful with coaching. That pipeline is created with consistency over time of this process and flow. Okay, so create a pipeline of success that is ever and overflowing. I love saying that, ever and overflowing. Because what you do this month, and this is why we're pushing so hardcore to get you guys that customer, to get you that sale, to get a product in somebody's hand that you can coach them through, because what you do in January reaps rewards in February, and what you do in February reaps rewards in March. So if you're skipping months, you're going to have a lot of low months in a row. And a lot of the time what happens is people get these big bursts of energy and they like freaking have a rock star month, or they maybe have a couple rock star months, right? But then they have 3 months of nothing. And what happens? Your pipeline's dead, right? And you got to start all the way over. It's not about always having a rock star month. What it is about having a consistent, ever-flowing, overflowing month, right? 3 people a month, 5 people a month, 3 people a month, 5 people a month. It's that consistency that keeps that pipeline flowing no matter what. It's so important, okay? And that way, when you do have those rock star months on top of your really consistent ones, it just builds and boosts your business that much more, okay? So to give you an idea of this, I just drew this little coach pipeline to show you how this works. If you helped one person this month, right? Next month in March, you've got this person that you brought in last month that you're helping, and maybe you bring in somebody new, right? So now you have 2 people that you're working to help through a program. And by your 3rd month, this is really when your pipeline kicks in, month 3. Because then one of these people, you could probably ask if they're interested in coaching, because they've probably gotten all the way through a program. They probably gained a testimony of Beachbody through their hard work, and they may become a coach for you. So now you've got 2 customers, you've got your first coach, right? And the next month, it just keeps multiplying. Okay, by your 4th month, you have 4 customers, maybe 2 of them are coaches. By your 5th month, you have 5 people that you're helping, and maybe 2 of those are new coaches, and 1 of them goes emerald. You know what I mean? Like, that's really how the coach pipeline works. And if you're not even starting your pipeline, this is not going to happen. And you're never going to find people to coach, and you're never going to find coaches to coach under you. This is just how it works. And so I think when you look at it from this visual perspective and you see sort of how it builds up and how it works, you all of a sudden don't feel like it's this impossible feat anymore. And you also sort of let go of this urgency of, I have to do this right this second or it's not going to happen for me. The truth is, you can do this. This is what's so cool about it. And I should have done a visual for this. If you did this month and you in March decided, you know what, I'm going to hit Success Club 5 or I'm going to hit Success Club 10, you're going to have 5 people that you're helping in March. So by April, maybe 2 of those people would be ready to coach, right? The whole goal is to create that pipeline so that whatever you do this month, you can reap and keep your pipeline flowing the next month. Does that make sense? Let me just pull up this little chat if I can even sneak it out of here. I like stuck it behind there and now I can't get it out. Okay. This is probably one of the most important things that I learned as a coach, because I realized very quickly on that if I brought brand new customers in this month, none of them are going to be ready to become coaches. Right? I have to work with people and get them results and help them see why coaching is amazing, because a coach helped them before I can even approach that subject. And I really think that most people, it takes 30 to 60 days before you can even ask them if coaching is a possibility. You can plant seeds and build confidence and do all that stuff ahead of that time, but you really want them to get that full experience and go through a challenge group and get results and do all of that stuff first. So if that's the case, you've got to have a good 3 months solid where you're bringing in new people every single one of those months to create that pipeline, right? And what's cool about this is once your pipeline is built and you've got it flowing and you got your momentum built and you've got your non-negotiables, your Success Club 5 every month, Once you get to that place, your business is just running itself. Okay. And that's really what we want to get you to that point. So right now, if you're not a new coach and you've been doing this for a long time, I want you to think about this. And I want you to think to yourself, when was the last time I hit Success Club 2 months in a row? When was the last time I hit it 3 months in a row? When was the last time I brought in 5 new customers in 1 month? Period. Whether it's on a challenge pack or not, right? This is where your business can either fail and fall apart, or it can grow and multiply right here in your pipeline. And again, I'm telling you, if you are good and strong these first 3 months and then you screw month 4, you just put a big blip in your pipeline. And the longer you let that blip go and those months sort of pile on top of each other that you're not doing a lot, the harder and harder it is to come back. So it's just better to get in the practice of doing it and trying. And it takes a few months, you guys, to really get your feet under you and get this pipeline rolling, okay? So don't think that by March 1st, this pipeline's already in order and I expect you to be Emerald by March 30th, okay? It can be done if that's your goal. You can do anything that you set your mind to. I'm just giving you a basic perspective of what this looks like, okay? So here's our plan of attack. This is what we do every day, no matter what, from here on out as coaches for the rest of your lives. Just kidding. We network, we connect, we invite, and we create that pipeline. Okay, so this is really the 4th and final step that I haven't really connected with networking and connecting and inviting. That pipeline is directly related to those 3 things. That's how you build your pipeline. And remember how important this is, right? So if you're not doing any of these things, that pipeline's never going to build. And guess what's going to happen? Your business isn't going to grow or build either. So again, our goal every day is to try and build our pipeline. Who else can I get in the mix? You want somebody just starting their program, somebody in the middle of their program, and someone graduating their program every single month. This is the ultimate goal for your pipeline. You want somebody just starting as a coach who's been coaching for a few months, and your veteran coaches every single month. You want somebody in one of those categories. That's how you know your pipeline has been built. Your pipeline is strong and your pipeline is thriving, right? It comes from these 3 things: networking, connecting, and inviting. I don't know if we need to go over this part of it again, but it's just a good visual to look at and remind yourself that if you're ever like, I don't even know what to do. I have an hour a day, or I have 30 minutes a day, or I have 10 minutes. I don't even know what to do. I feel like I have so much to do. Do those 3 things. Period, hands down, done. If you focus on those 3 things only for the rest of your career, you will end up in a pretty damn good spot, because that's what we do. So this is step number 1, okay? This is a 3-step action plan. Step number 1, create new opportunity daily through networking, connecting, and inviting, and strengthening your pipeline, okay? Step number 2, help your customers. Be an actual coach, okay? Trust the process. What did we teach you? We taught you to what? Create structure, accountability, and support so that you can get people results. It's that simple. Don't overcomplicate it, okay? The structure comes from you getting your customers into a specific program and specific nutrition so they get specific results. I say this all the time. Random results and random workouts and random diets get random results. Your customers don't want random. They also don't want random coaching, okay? They want structured coaching. So create that structure. Get your customers accountable for themselves. This journey is theirs. Give them the power to own it. That's what we can do as coaches, okay? Help them commit to it and conquer it. And that way you guys can build them that support to help them do that. So the last part of that is help them get support. Always have somewhere for people to coach, or to coach people, always. So always have a challenge group going, or an accountability group open, or your challenge tracker app going. One of those areas or all of those areas, you always need somewhere for people to go that you coach, or else you're not going to want to invite. If you don't have somewhere to coach them, then how are you going to invite people to come work with you, right? So every month, those things need to be a priority. The last one is get results. This is a really important one because our job isn't done until we get that transformation photo, right? And even then, are we really done? No, because people want to live a lifestyle and they want to challenge themselves. So it's so important to always have next steps for your customers. But I'm telling you guys, if you want to build strong coaches and build a team of coaches in the future, if that's part of your plan, then this needs to be a non-negotiable with your coaching. That transformation photo, your before pictures and before measurements are non-negotiable with your customers, period. They have to do them or else you won't work with them. There's so many reasons that I could go into, but for the sake of time, I'm just gonna say that our job is not done until that transformation is in our hands, right? And what does that mean? If somebody starts their program and they drop off, does that mean that we won't coach them ever again? No, it means when they're ready, we're here because our system's set up and in place to embrace anybody that's ready now, right? That's the beautiful thing about the way that we coach. That transformation photo, when somebody submits that to you and gives that to you, is really your opportunity to pat yourself on the back too, because you got them through that whole process from start to finish, and that's our goal, to get them through a program from start to finish, right? So make it non-negotiable. The very third part of our plan, our action plan, is to help your coaches. And this may not be applicable to you right now, or it might be, but if you don't have any coaches of your own, then your job right now is to embrace this. This is your job, okay? The speed of the leader determines the speed of the pack. You've probably heard that a million times. If you want to build a team of coaches who are dedicated to helping people on any level, then we need to be the ones out front showing them how to do it. And that's it. Okay, does that mean that you're going to have Success Club 5 and 10 and 15 and 50 every single month? No, but it does mean that you're going to have points on the board of some kind every month, no matter what, one or more, because you're dedicated to helping new people every single month and you want to help them with diet and workouts, right? So work for it. Be dedicated to finding new people to help each month. Expand your reach. Your time right now is to start creating that ripple effect that you're going to have, because one person, you guys, and this is one thing I struggled with when I was new too, is I was like, what difference am I going to make? You know what I mean? How am I going to change like millions of people's lives? That ripple effect is a real deal. If you help one mom or one dad or one kid get in shape and change their whole life, how many people around them do you think that impacts? It affects their future family. It affects whoever is in their life at that moment, right? Because they see that journey, they're influenced by their lifestyle, and that's just that ripple effect branching out, okay? So don't ever think that you changing one person's life isn't that much, because I feel like your life was enough for a coach, right? That was enough. And so is anybody that decides to change their life. That ripple effect is real. So you're building your legacy through those new people that you're bringing in every single month and creating those miniature ripple effects throughout your organization, okay? Rank advancement. I have one line of advice for you with this, and you're not gonna understand it until you understand it, but I want you to build your rank until it's no longer yours. When you reach a certain point with rank, it no longer becomes yours, right? You get to a point where you're like, yes, I did it, I did it, I did it. And you're more hungry to help someone else do it than you are to help yourself. And that's when you got to take a second and say to yourself, okay, I did it, right? I'm there, I'm at that place. And all of a sudden, all that personal growth, all this consistency, all that hard work, all that bringing new coaches on and watching them fall off and bringing new ones on and watching them fall off and then having that one really succeed and go for it, right? All becomes worth it. So with rank, I want you to build it. I want you to build your own rank until it's no longer yours. Till you have that feeling in your brain that's, I have to keep going for them, not for me. Okay? Personal development is the strongest foundation we can build. The strongest foundation that we can build will come through, this is what I wrote, will come through our own personal discovery, experiences, and development. We cannot help others until we help ourselves. And that's the truest statement we can make. The strongest foundation we can build will come through our own personal discovery, experiences, and development. We cannot help others until we help ourselves. That's why this journey is yours right now, and why it's so important for you every day to be focused so much on helping other people. It's a weird thing, but that's just how our business works, and that's why it's amazing. So here's my last little nugget that I thought was so good. And I'd never really laid the coaching opportunity out like this, but I thought it was so good. So I wanted to share it. So this is basically your little roadmap to success. And if you guys want, I can post this so you can print it. But with any road trip, let's just say, with any new destination that you're trying to reach, you need a map, you need fuel, you need to have pit stops, you're probably going to have detours until you reach your destination, right? Your map is the coaching opportunity. The coach policies and procedures, if you haven't read through at least the compensation plan part of it and the rank part of it, which is going to be your assignment. I'm going to post that in the group for you to read the compensation plan. I'm just making a note. Compensation plan and the rank advancement, so that you really have a deep understanding of how to build this business. That's your roadmap. That's what you're going to use. Okay. So every time you feel lost, you're going to go back to it and be like, oh, right, this is what I need to do. Okay. The fuel for your business and for this journey is the vital behaviors. What happens when you run out of gas? Real simple. You don't go anywhere, right? You find yourself on the side of the road waiting for somebody else who did fill up their car with gas to come save you. And that's usually your coach. Hey, I'm still here. Where are you? Right? But that's the truth. Your fuel is the vital behaviors. The instant you stop doing that, you run out of gas, you're done. Okay? Until you start putting that fuel back into your business. This was the most interesting part of this for me, because I think so many times that coaches look at the pit stops as their destination. And it's not. Your destination is your dream. It's your life. It's what you're trying to do. It's what you're trying to build. It's the destination, right? The end point, I did it. Your pit stops are these little benchmarks and milestones along the way that are in the coaching opportunity. They're Success Club. They are rank advancement. They're income. They are achievement, right? Personal achievement. They're the leadership ladder. They're recognition. All of these things are the pit stops. Why are they the pit stops? Does anybody know? Because you got to stop for a minute and recognize, okay, we're going to stop and take a break and look at the scenery, right? How many times when you're on a road trip do you just pull over to the side of the road and watch the sunset or the sunrise or take in the scenery or take a picture or go to the bathroom, right? You got to take pit stops. You got to eat to live. This is where you stop and take a breath. When you hit Success Club, when you rank advance, when you start earning income, when you achieve something, a personal goal, when you hit a new rung on the leadership ladder, which you guys will learn about, when you are recognized or you recognize something that you've done in your business, those are the pit stops. They're not the destinations. In fact, there's a whole lot of detours between you and those pit stops to get to your destination. And guess what those are? They're the ugly stuff that you don't want to face. They're the fear, the self-doubt, inconsistency, complacency, negativity, the poor self-care, the toxic relationships, all of these obstacles that are getting in your way, right? So you can have your map, you can have your fuel, you can have your pit stops, but those detours, if you can't get past them, you'll never hit that destination. So this is so important to recognize and to look at and to say, where am I on this trip, right? And say, what do I need to do to get through those detours? Do I need to look back at my map? Do I need more fuel? Do I need to take a pit stop, right? Guys, how awesome is that metaphor? It's so good, right? I love it. So this is really important. I want you to keep this visual in your mind and print it off, put it in front of your face, teach this, repeat this, right? It's something that I think the more we all can understand, the better we can reach that destination and overcome some of these detours that are constantly being thrown at us all the time, right? And we'll be able to make these planned, necessary pit stops along the way to help keep us energized and moving forward towards that destination. So here's the very last part. Where do we go from here? As you guys move forward into your coaching business and you start to read through that compensation plan and you look at the rank plan and decide sort of where you want to go with this and what you want to do with your business. If you want to just be a commission only coach, or if you want to build a team, you can do either. It doesn't matter as long as you know what you want to do. That way we can embrace that destination and help you choose which pit stops are the most important along the way, and we'll go for it, right? But these are the first things. If you are wanting to go into this business and try every aspect of it, which I highly recommend, the very first thing we have to do is start that pipeline. Just start it. Okay, so in March, if you can start that pipeline, your goal. That's amazing. The next kind of step from there would be to go Emerald. And that is taking some of your customers that you've been working with since January or February or March and introducing them to the coaching opportunity and trying to find people who you want to work with to do what you're doing and help people together and build sort of your dream together, right? Signing up 2 personally sponsored coaches of your own will help you go Emerald status. That's really the first major step and milestone in your business since becoming an active status coach, because that qualifies you for a whole plethora of other things besides just being a commission only coach. So that's a big step. And then really getting consistent with that Success Club 5 so that you can strengthen your pipeline and keep going. I think setting some non-negotiables in your business is really key. And once you get them down and you've mastered them, then you can really start to dream bigger and do bigger. And because you got the basics down, it's a lot easier for you to go after some of those bigger things with confidence because you know how to do it, right? I did want to make mention about Coach Summit because if you haven't registered for it, I would love to get 100% registration out of this group. It's one of those events that's just, you just shouldn't miss it. It's important. There's not a lot of things that we attend throughout the year together, but Coach Summit is like the big one. You guys learn so much from your business or for your business at that event. It's a game changer. There's been a lot of top coaches who were doing nothing until they went to Summit and then became top coaches because of the things that they learned there. And they learned that confidence and ability and just different tools, and they just saw how many coaches there are and how many different approaches there are, and it just opened your eyes to a whole new world of possibility, and it's amazing. So if you haven't registered for that, this is one of those things that you can pre-commit yourself to and make yourself work towards. I did that. I was terrified. I started coaching in April and Summit was in June, and it was like, I don't even know how much it was back then, but I bought my challenge pack on a credit card because we had no money. So it was a big expense for me, but I did it, and I'm so glad that I did, and I've never missed one since. I'm going to my 8th one this year, which is crazy. But definitely go in and register and make that commitment because it is a big deal. And then the very last thing, and then we'll open it up to any questions if you guys have any. I know that right now the business feels a little bit awkward. and it's a little bit even maybe uncomfortable. But I promise you guys, eventually it will become second nature and potentially bless your life in unimaginable ways. I know that it's a little bit awkward at first, okay? But just embrace it. Be brave. Own that part of it, because that's growth happening, okay? We believe in you. We're excited for you. I really want to hit this goal this week of no zeros up on that board. So if you're sitting at 0, this is your chance to reach out and say, I need help. Let me figure this out. What can I do? And we'll help you. I wanted to just go over really quickly. I know it's 9:40, so we're 10 minutes over, but do any of you guys have any questions regarding this week or any of the stuff we just covered? Okay, everyone seems good. That's good. Okay, I love you guys. I'll post this recording if you want to watch it back. I'll post up the compensation plan and the rank part of it. I want you guys to go through and read, and then maybe we can discuss that in the group page. And I will see you guys online.